So namaste. My name is Dr. Monica Gruber, and I am the director of San Diego College of Ayurveda. And this is the orientation. It's a repeat orientation for those who were not able to attend the workshop yesterday. We had 3 people yesterday, along with the Block 2 students. So in your group is batch 21, and it's group A, and you have 10 people in the group overall. And then you also have batch 20 who are about to graduate in 3 or 4 weeks from Block 1. So you will see a lot of their forums when you log in online. Okay, so are you able to see the screen? Okay. The way it works is we have the online classes Sunday morning, the next one you're going to have on June 1st, and the next Sunday, and so on and so forth. We use this WebEx, and then we, of course, have the learning management system, and we have the on-site classes. So it's a blended learning environment because everybody's a different kind of a learner. There is some change in Block 1, and I'll tell you about it in a minute as well. And towards the end, we'll talk about what your goals are and what you expect out of the course in Ayurveda as well. So let me start by welcoming you, and I hope that the knowledge of Ayurveda manifests in yourself and even the others who are not present today or were present yesterday. And there's a lot of aha moments, and it's very auspicious. So today, very, very quickly, we're going to go through the online learning environment. I know, Sonia, you've already logged in. You will also familiarize yourself with what the course curriculum is, what you expect. And there are some changes in the Block 1, and what are the changes and why they are. And of course, hopefully, Atul or Dr. Kirti will join. If they do, that'd be fantastic. If not, you will meet them when they do the class anyway. So I'm your point of contact for, enrollment issues and so on and so forth. And most of the other teachers, you will meet them on Sunday mornings. So basically, this course used to be 100 hours, and I think I talked to almost every single student who has joined this group. And then we used to have a practitioner program, which was 500 hours. So the total was about 600, and it was a practitioner program. And then we had a health educator program, which was a 450-hour program. Now, this was enough to get a practitioner membership or certificate from National Ayurvedic Medical Association. Starting July 1st, NAMA, or National Ayurvedic Medical Association, what they've done is they've said, this is not enough. We need to standardize Ayurveda. So what we're going to do is, to be an Ayurveda practitioner, you need 1,100 hours of training minimum, and to be an Ayurveda counselor, you need 600 hours of training. So we had to go back and change a lot of things, add a lot of curriculum, make it much more clinical than it is now. But we did not want to, redact Block 100 hours, because we have a lot of international students. We have students from Canada and Mexico and Costa Rica and even Thailand and Europe, Italy. And those people are not bound by the NAMA mandate of, they have to have the set curriculum. Plus, there are many people who join the course who may not move forward or who don't want to be a practitioner. So you're keeping the Block 1, but just dividing it into 2 tracks moving forward. And the reason I'm discussing it, everybody in this group is automatically has a chance to do 150 hours. They're automatically upgraded if they want to go to the counselor program, which I know almost everybody does. So just to, you can ask me questions. So the track A, the one that you read about in the website, 100 hours, will become a prerequisite for yoga therapy, Ayurvedic nutrition, Ayurvedic herbalist. So if that's where you want to be, this is the track A you want to do. And the track B is pretty much the 100 hours of track A plus an extra 50 hours, which is women support workshop and some clinical knowledge, more case study, a couple of patient encounters, a very basic patient encounters supervised. And this one will lead to a student who's interested in going 600, and then they'll do another 500 and become practitioner. And of course, moving forward, we have Ayurveda doctor that's going to come. And then we have a national board exam of Ayurvedic medicine that is in the pipeline on 2016 as well. So the good news is this all comes into being from July 1st, but everybody in this group automatically has the option of choosing either tracks. Obviously, anybody who joins after July 1st or the August program, they will choose a track and then they stick to the track. But you guys actually have a choice, so that's pretty good, I think. And if you have any questions, because there'll be some transitional teething issues, we're doing that right now with the existing group. We've given them anyone who is moving to Block 2 has to make up the extra 50 hours. All right, so basically this one has the Block 100 hours. It's a little bit more limited quizzes and assignments. This one has more. Plus, moving forward, the Block 100 hours will not have any on-site workshop. There's a lot of students who never come on-site anyway, and the track B is going to have on-site workshops and patient encounters and supervised clinicals. That's pretty much the only difference. Everything else is exactly the same. And both of them will work as a prerequisite for different programs. Any questions? Okay. So one of the first things we have is Ayurveda 101. Now, we have so many students who have read a lot of books on Ayurveda, or they have some previous Ayurvedic knowledge because they were a yoga teacher, or they were a nurse, or they went to a lecture. And everybody thinks it's a foundation course. It's a very basic course. It's not as basic as you would think. So we do cover the basic, what is Ayurveda, and we talk about Ayurveda in the United States. We talk about 4 types of Ayu and health and wellness according to Ayurveda. We talk about concept of karma, history, mythology, reason for disease, and so on. And then you have all of this assignments. We have a pre-evaluation and so on, and all of this I will show you on the website how it works. And the way it works is the assignments you can submit online, or we do not accept it in email because all of us are getting hundreds of emails every day. So what we do is you submit the assignment on Google Docs and share it with this email. That way everybody who's a school teacher has access to collaborate with you on your assignments. And if you do not do your assignment on time, that's fine. I mean, usually we try and have a deadline to give some structure to the course, but if you're not able to do your assignment, that's fine. It's just that, then the feedback and might be delayed, or you may not get a feedback on time. That's about the only thing. Then you have Sankhya. Atul's going to talk about Sankhya in a little while. Sankhya used to be 20 hours, and it's very hard. It's a very esoteric topic, but Ayurveda is based on the premise of Sankhya, just like yoga is based on the premise of yoga philosophy, and if you've read the Patanjali Sutras and so on and so forth. And it has so much Sanskrit in it, and there's so much Sanskrit glossary that usually the students have a glazed look in their eyes and they barely manage. So we have introduced Sanskrit 101, which is basically glossary pronunciation. Please remember, entire Ayurveda texts from thousands of years ago have been written in Sanskrit. So it's almost like learning another language. And a lot of students, this is the one feedback that we get every single group. We love the course, we just love the interaction, but oh my God, the Sanskrit is so hard. So, we thought, okay, we'll make it easy, specifically for people who are, moving on to a counselor or practitioner. It is expected that you're able to talk in the Ayurvedic jargon, which is 100% Sanskrit. So I'll let Atul talk about Sankhya in 1 second, because he is a Sankhya teacher. What is expected of you? And he is the one who's going to be doing Sanskrit 101 as well, but we are not actually going to do Sanskrit classes. We have pre-recorded classes. So the portion of the course is home study. Portion of the course is interactive meetings, which are online, like we are doing right now. It's an online class. And then a portion of the course is offline interaction through forums. So if you've logged in, you've seen, or how there's so many postings, students talking to each other, people responding, and so on. So this will be for anyone who's moving on to the counselor. If you're not, you don't need to bother with this. It's just that you are the group who are kind of right in the middle of that transition, and there won't be any issues from the group that comes next. They've already chosen the track. But for you guys can choose it now in the middle of the course, whatever works for you. Ahara in Ayurveda means Ayurvedic nutrition. And we used to have this portion in Block 2. We moved into Block 1 about last year. And then we have kept on increasing it because this is one of the most popular and most used portion of the course. We go back to the students and ask them, 6 months after they finish the course, which was the one thing that you really used in Ayurveda Foundation course. And they say, guess what? This changed our life. They learn how to make ghee and different chutneys and make an Ayurvedic mind plate for themselves and their imbalance and their family and their community, and it's just absolutely amazing. And it's the kind of things that you can immediately apply to your life and your family or friends. And so this is very, very popular. And also, it's not just all fun and games. There's the concept of the gunas and also the agni and how to balance agni or digestion by using the principle of Ayurveda as well. So obviously the track we will do a little bit more assignments than track 1. Vihara is another concept. We're throwing a lot of Sanskrit words here. So Ayurveda is the science of environment. Whatever is happening outside is also happening inside. And one of the things that balances us is the seasonal regimen and daily regimen. So if a person does not have a regular routine, they tend to get imbalanced and diseased. That's one of the premises of Ayurveda. So as in a foundation course, there's a lot of focus on the daily regimen. And how we do it is we have you create a daily regimen based on the dosha time of the day. For example, early morning time is Vata time and Pitta time is Pitta time. And whatever's imbalanced in your own Vikriti, we talk about that in the course, Vikriti is your imbalance. And you create a daily regimen for yourself. And you also create a daily regimen for whosoever you do a patient encounter or student consult with. And then you create a very simple seasonal regimen, how you do a cleanse for yourself. Because cleanse for you, Ashley, might will be different from me because I'm a different dosha, and will be different for you, Sonia, and different for Atul because it's always customized. So that's one thing we do in Vihara. And Tridoshas, this is possibly one of the most clinical aspects because you're not just talking about Vata, Pitta, Kapha. We talk about the location and function and different organs within the body that have which are the subdoshas. So you have 5 subdoshas of Vata, 5 of Pitta, and 5 of Kapha. The total number is 15. What is the location? What is the function? And the idea is to recognize the symptoms, and then you present it to the teacher at final. Moving forward from July, the track A100-hour students do not have to do a live presentation, and they do not have to do the case studies and the patient encounters the way the track B. But right now, everybody has to do it. And basically, the idea is that when you do a consult and someone says, I get a headache only during the afternoon, and my eyes hurt and my eyes get red, and I have diarrhea, you should be able to find out what the subdoshas are. No, they are not compulsory to attend because we do try to make recordings. Like we recorded yesterday's workshop, and the same workshop recordings were already sent to you in your enrollment packet because we keep on repeating the workshop. So you would receive 3 DVDs called Women's Support. And that's the workshop we had yesterday, except we added postpartum support to it. A postpartum, which is great for every woman. There's either we get pregnant or there are women, friends, family around us, so they always need that kind of support that you'd be able to provide. So that is about the only thing that's added. And yeah, so all of this is available online or later on. So we are actually in the process of editing the video that we did yesterday. and that'll be available soon. Plus, you already have the archived workshop videos and DVDs from the previous one. So this is what we did yesterday, basically. You know, this is, you know, if you're not able to attend the workshop, then you do the home study, and there's one lesson which is dealing with stress and stress for women that we kind of added this time. And then the physiology and anatomy of the woman's reproductive system, the hormones. We talk about lunar cycle. And all of this is actually already on site. All of the classes are there, archived, recorded classes. The only thing we've added actually is postpartum support, which we did not have before. And yeah, a little bit about a prenatal, you know, a couple of slides about prenatal support as well. And this will, going forward, Track A will not be doing this at all, because, you know, we're really going into the 3 types of, you know, estrogen and the function, which kind of moves into biochemistry and adrenal function, which unless a person has a previous experience or education, it doesn't make sense for them to do it. So, you know, we do offer extra supplemental biochemistry, anatomy, and physiology classes as well. So one of the assignments for this, for you guys, would be fill the women support form, which is what kind of a monthly cycle a woman gets. Obviously, Vata women, Pitta, and Kapha will get different kinds. And then, of course, you fill it. And a lot of the courses, we do a lecture, you go and watch the lecture, then you do your reading, and then you submit a form online for yourself. So you are your first patient. You apply all these principles on yourself to know what works and what doesn't work. And then, you know, you do your patient encounter. And this is just a guideline. You don't have to follow this. You know, you could do it, you know, you have your 3 months, and whatever way works for you is good. It's just a guideline because, you know, it's an online course. It's you don't actually get to see us. So the Sunday classes, let's say it's 2 to 3 hours. Sometimes they run longer. Depends on how many students are present, how many questions are being asked. Sometimes they run shorter, and so on. And then we expect you to go back and watch those classes again. Plus, you have recorded classes from you know, the previous batch. And there's YouTube videos, there's, you know, all of this. We expect you to go and watch them. And you can watch it whenever you please. You can watch them before or after. However, if, like, next week we are doing Introduction to Ayurveda, we do suggest you watch that one as well. And then this reading for the week is ideally, if you could just read 30 minutes a day for 5 days and just leaving out Saturday, Sunday, that's good for us. But, you know, there are people who read 3 times a week because we do give a lot of reading assignments. So one of the suggested textbook is Textbook of Ayurveda Part 1. And then there's the material we sent you. And then we also post online external resources and ask you to read them and ponder on them. And the kind of thing you would do at a university. And this is just a ballpoint figure. It's 2 hours a week, but it can actually be 1 week. It could be just an hour. The next week it could be 2.5 hours. Depends. You know, you might take 2 hours preparing a daily routine for yourself because, you know, there's a lot of things you need to do, and you might take just 30 minutes. So this kind of depends on person to person. We have an optional reading because we have Vata people, Pitta people, Kapha people. They all learn differently. So, I mean, I try to accommodate. I'm Kapha, and my secondary dosha is Pitta. So I try to accommodate for all kind of learning styles because I take my time. I mean, I do things slowly, and I do things from the checklist. And some people may do it very, very fast. So we give that optional, extra challenging reading, which you don't have to do. But usually people who are Pitta, they would want to do that, and that is absolutely fine. And then, of course, you've had a chance to log in and see the forums, and, you know, it depends on the group. This group that we've had in batch 20, they were very, very interactive group. They're posting a lot of things in forums, and they're posting their ghee and chutneys and what they made, what works for them, and so on in the forums, and, you know, they're talking. And so usually the forum, which we expect to be 1 to 2 hours a week, I would say probably became more like 3 hours a week. And there were so many questions being asked. I spend more time on forums in the last month than I ever had, actually, because I just had a baby 2.5 months ago, so I was not very active in the first month. But yeah, it's just been amazing. I mean, if you go back and read all the stuff that's on the forums. And then, of course, don't worry. Let's say there's the 4th of July, there's something happened, you have to move, you have relatives who come, and you don't get time to do your assignments. You know, the last few weeks when there are no classes, you know, you can catch up with your reading assignment. And luckily for you, we have about 3 weeks off in July because that's our summer break, and you would have time to go back. You also have a block 2 and block 1 combined workshop in July 5 and 6. So July 6, we ask you to come, and if you want to come on July 5, you can, but you will come as a volunteer and a patient for our existing block 2 students here. I mean, that's a great learning experience, but that's not really part of the course, but you're welcome to come and attend that as well. Let's move forward. So who? Atul is here. He's our Sankhya teacher. He's also technical support. He's admission support. He's the one who shipped out everything. We did run a little late on shipping this time because, you know, because of the San Diego fires, our office is actually closed down for a couple of days. So everything kind of got delayed. So I apologize for that, but everything's out in the mail. It's been sent. I think we also sent out the tracking number. A couple of students have already received it. Depends on where you're at in US. Dr. Aparna Dandekar is, she works today, unfortunately, so she's not here. But she is a regular medical physician and an osteopath and an Ayurvedic practitioner, and she's a graduate of our college as well. And she works at UC Berkeley. You'll meet her, and she'll probably introduce you. She does the lectures, lecture portions, just short lectures, very wonderful teacher. We're very lucky to have her. Dr. Kirti Pingle is an Ayurvedic physician from India, and a lot of material is prepared by Dr. Kirti and myself. She's far more active in Block 2 because, you know, she's an Ayurvedic medical doctor. So the Block 2 and Block 3, she's extremely active, and we have more teachers. We have Sudevi Suzy, we have Dr. Celia Abrahami doing biochem. We have, you know, Dr. Kirti's husband is an oncologist who's there for guest lectures. We have Dr. Sahana Kadlaya, who's an Ayurvedic surgeon, who also comes for guest lectures. Sometimes we have other people coming in for guest lectures, and so on and so forth. So that all happens more in Block 2 and 3 because it's a little bit more flexible. Block 1 is pretty much set in stone because, you know, we have a goal to achieve. One of the things that we want to achieve is we want to test what your aptitude is, and we want you to understand that Ayurveda is a little bit more tough than it seems. A lot of people, not everybody, seem to think that, you know, it's easy and it's Abhyanga or it's Shivapara or it's oil massage. And you'd be surprised how many inquiries we get saying that I already know how to do Abhyanga. So, but we don't teach that. It's not a spa treatment. It's a clinical Ayurvedic medicine course. Any questions? Okay. Atul, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I hope everyone can hear me okay. You might hear a couple of little squawks now and then because I have a wiggly baby boy with me. My name is Atul. I have been I'm one of the founders of San Diego College of Ayurveda. And as Monica mentioned, I deal with technical aspects of keeping all of our web infrastructure running. And I also teach Sanskrit and Sankhya. Now, Sankhya is something that I think it's unnecessarily intimidating to people. We try to make it approachable, and we try to relate it to Ayurveda because, you know, you can find a lot of things on the web. Ayurveda has become a popular buzzword, and I think one thing that happens in America especially is that people tend to latch on to something new and then streamline it and sort of take the gist of it and say, oh yes, this is an Ayurvedic this or an Ayurvedic that. or what's your dosha, baby, and let's talk about Ayurveda in 5 minutes. And as Monica said, there's more to it than that. It's a holistic health practice system. And what we really hope to get across to you in this first 100 or 150 hours is that you should start to relate this to you as a person and your state of health and your state of mind and your lifestyle and your eating habits and everything. And, you know, it should start to click. And then if you're ready to go deeper and become an Ayurvedic practitioner, one of the things that we find is that, you know, it's sometimes a little challenging trying to identify the causes of imbalance. And that's really, when we talk about Sankhya, when we talk about this philosophy that Ayurveda is based on, it's really all about how we measure the balance. What are the different axes on which we can tip one way or the other? So there's a lot of terminology that's going to be new. There are a lot of concepts that may be new, but really it all boils down to what is our balance and how we can become imbalanced, and when we're imbalanced, how we can get back in balance, and when we're in balance, how we can stay balanced. That's really all that it boils down to. So it's a different way of looking at things. You know, we look at everything based on the origin of the divine manifest, both as masculine and feminine principles within this world. That's a common concept that, you know, you all may be familiar with in one form or another. And how these principles become transformed and manifest as the different elements. So we look at the constituent elements of our physical constitution and how they are related to the physical elements of this world. Earth, water, fire, air, and space. They all have equivalents within our body, within the 3 doshas, the 3 constitutional elements of our physical makeup, kapha, vata, and pitta. These are all related to these 5 elemental categories. And this is, it's a type of, it's not a really a primitive way of looking at things. It's more, think of it like the new math. It's a different way of adding things together so that you can arrive at what balances you. And that's really the essence of what Sankhya is all about. So I'm going to try to take you through that and try to make it interesting and not headache-inducing. So please don't get intimidated by that. I think it's going to be fun, and I think you'll find it very interesting and eye-opening, and I hope that you, you know, get a lot of inspiration from this, and you know, that you're able to go on and extend your studies in Ayurveda and understand just how fundamentally this ancient holistic health system can help to change people's health for the better. Thank you very much, and I'll give things back to Monica.
Thank you, Atul. Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to go and show you what the learning management system looks like. I know you've already logged in, but very quickly. So this is what the LMS looks like, and you know, you put in your username here and password, and of course you log in. And once you log in, you know, you will see a lot of things. If you want to know what's coming up next, what is the upcoming event, on the right-hand side, you will see these upcoming events. And for example, you have a class on June 1st, next week, you will see an event, Batch 21, Block 1, Group A. That's what you are, your Group A. So, you click on it, and you can see the WebEx information that was sent to you over there as well. Plus, whenever you have an assignment to do, that will also show up. You don't have to freak out. Because even if you're a few days late, you can still upload your assignment or share it with us. The only difference is you won't get 100% grade if you submit it late. That's the only thing. And the feedback might be late. So, don't worry about that. You will also have a navigation on the left-hand side. So you click on it. For example, next week, the first lecture, you're going to do Ayurveda Lecture 101. And of course, Atul's going to go through a little bit of Sankhya. And we'll have one lecture from Ayurveda Wellness. So even though there are 3 different sections, we take a little bit from here. And so you're expected to go in all these 3 different sections and go through them and so on and so forth. And in the second week, we might take something from Sankhya, Wellness, and Nutrition. In the third week, we might take something from Wellness, Nutrition, and Other. Fourth week, we might talk about Ayurvedic Anatomy, and so on and so forth. All of the classes that are recorded, you will see them on in the different sections there. And I'll show you. I'll share my desktop and show you. So these are the forums. You click on them. For example, you click on this, you can read the rest of the topic. You can hit reply as well. And so when you hit reply, you can answer whatever's being asked. And one thing, the forums are not meant for personal questions of, why did you give me this grade, or have you received this, or I cannot log in. These are the kind of questions you want to email us, because the forums go to 40 different people, including the teachers and the previous students, and Block 2 students also have access to this. So you want to kind of limit the forums to all about Ayurveda only. Some other information, there's summer break July 7th to 31st, and there's no class June 22nd weekend, but there's a longer class end of June because of that. And of course, you have July 6th is on-site workshop, and of course, this is recorded, and there's also previous recordings. And if anybody wants to come in July 5, then they come in as a case study, a volunteer case study for Block 2 students. If you go to Block 2, you will have the Block 1 students coming in as your case studies. And the online course starts, we were given access yesterday, May 24th, and it goes all the way up to August 17th, which is the last day of access. Of course, if you join the Block 2, the access may go on longer as well. For those joining Block 2 Counselor Program, the orientation for Block 2 will be end of August, and the course will start September. And of course, there's students who have thought they were joining a 100-hour course, but they decided to go to counselor, have to do the 150. So some extra work is there, and that's just because we're in that transition period. In fact, every single college in the United States is in that transition period. National Ayurvedic Medical Association itself is in a transition period. Let me share my Can you hear me now? Okay. All right. So let's see, what did you miss? Let me go back and repeat that. When you click on the assignment, it will say this assignment will show as batch 21. If this assignment doesn't say batch 21, it has not been assigned to you, please don't attempt it. Because the way we do the assignments is we assign. So this week we open the assignment, because if we open all the assignments at once, it's too much. So for example, right now this is not assigned to you. When this is assigned to you, this will say batch 20. And when it's assigned, you can actually, it tells you you can actually upload it in the forum. You don't need to do it here, but that's another thing. You can do it here. And these are the instructions. When you click on Add Submission, you have a chance to do an online text, or you can upload, or you can just do it in the forum, or you can share via Google Docs. We give you a lot of options. Again, it's going to take you like a week or so to go through everything and get used to the navigation, and that's fine. So you have to wait for us to assign you everything. Let's see. For example, I'll show you another one where you actually have to upload. Here, for example, you have to upload an essay in this one. And this is batch 20. So this is, for you guys, it will say batch 21. So it tells you this is the assignment. File name should be like this. It's due on this date. And you read these passages. And the question has two parts. These are the instructions. You have two choices, and so on and so forth. And then it does not have, obviously, and once you click on submit, you click on submit the file, and you can upload it. Let me see if I can assign you this, and you'll be able to see that. You get submission, and you can click on this, and if it's a submission where it asks you to upload a file, you can upload a file. And if you find it it's hard to upload a file, or there's a problem, you can just share it via Google Docs. If you do not know, it's very easy. You log into Google Docs. It's free, and you upload your assignment there, and you share it with Ayurveda Wellness Institute at gmail.com. All the instructions, every time you give you an assignment, we do very, very clear instructions. So you don't worry about that. And if you're doing an online text that you're writing here, whatever you are writing, please make sure you also save it locally on your computer, because if you delete it, it's gone forever. It won't be saved. So it's good to have an extra copy on your desktop or computer. We also send you a number of study aids, and it's a good idea to have your study aids out, or put it in your study area so you remember everything. Let's see. So I encourage you to go and check out how everything is. This is what we're going to be covering next week. So it's a good idea to actually watch this lecture beforehand, and if not, that's fine too. So you have the previous classes and all of these things. You have a checklist. I encourage you to go and look at it. Right now it'll be, oh my God, that's a lot of information. So don't worry about it. We go through it. Any questions? So assignments, when they're due, we'll usually say when we assign it, then you will see them listed on your homepage, saying batch 21 group A assignment now due, and so on and so forth. And that will have a lot of instructions there as well. So here is an assignment. You look at the add submission here. You click on that, and you upload your file. The file we expect you to upload is usually a PDF. If you're not comfortable with that, you can just make a document on a Word document or open format, and just just share it via Google Docs. And this is what the online text looks like. I already shared that with you. And this is what the upload PDF online looks like. You can create a folder. You can just drag and drop your file into this. One of the things is I've made this only 2 MB because students were submitting PDFs with images which were 20 MB, and that kind of takes up a lot of our bandwidth. If you have 30 students doing that, so it's a minimum size. If you want to upload a photo which is more than that, we suggest you use the Google Docs. Because you sometimes like you have a recipe that you're supposed to do and you want to do a good photo or a graphic, then go ahead. But for this one, it's a 2 MB limit. And then of course you click on Save Changes, and that's it. If you want to redo it, then you can also redo it as well. It allows you to resubmit it as well. And I mean, last but not the least, it takes time to get used to the LMS or the learning management system. You have people from all walks of life. You have we have students starting from age 25 up to 55. Most of them are women. We have one man in the previous group and one man in this group. They usually kind of feel, oh my God, I'm the only one. But it's a lot of feminine spirit. The focus is on women imbalances. And the courses, we're using the Open Learning Management System, Moodle. And please go and check everything out. And it will take a few days to get used to it. And that is why we give you time. So everybody has the, they'll take their own time, go click on things and so on and so forth. And of course, a recording of this will also be shared with you, recording of this particular class. And that's pretty much about it. And so you have your class starting next week, and right now just do your reading and go through everything so you're kind of prepared when we get started and you get into the flow. And if you have any questions, how do I do this? I can't open it. Just email me or Atul.